Hello, my Volkswagen friends. This is Kevin over at Preservation versus Restoration and Cool Rides Customs. So today, a rare rainy day here in California, I decided to fool around with an idea I had for original wiper blades. So any of you guys that know the earlier blades, such as on the 54 convertible and my 55, this part here, this post, is actually part of the end of the blade. In early cars, and earlier than this, they had what was called a wire, which was, the more split window era stuff and things like that. Excuse me. So to replace the wiper blade on these things, you have to unscrew these screws here and slide this piece out, slide a new one in. Well, nobody really reproduces this model. They reproduce the wire. I think Wolfsburg West might reproduce it, but I remember seeing the price and going, oh my gosh, that is quite a bit of money for a wiper blade. I want to say it was about 50 some odd bucks. Of course, it takes a lot to produce this, so no harm to Wolfsburg West. No bad talking about them. I just had a concept that I could replace these, like all you Volkswagen guys. I try to find a little bit less expensive way. So what I decided to do is very carefully, and it's carefully on this part, is remove the rubber. As you can see, I've done on this one here. I've actually removed the rubber in there. And you notice it's not all bent up or anything. I just very carefully used a couple of different picks and, proceeded to get under the rubber here, like so. Kind of getting underneath here, like here at the end. Kind of sliding the pick underneath it. You know, a little bit of patience. Don't stab yourself. But be patient, get it in there. And then you just kind of walk it in there. You see I'm just kind of walking it like that. And by doing so, I can start to push the rubber out of this little pinch slot. Because all it really is a pinch slot. And of course, this rubber is rock hard. It's been in here for 50 years. And see, as I take it out, it starts falling apart, right? However, after, being patient, I only got, about 10 inches to go, 8 or 9 total. Not a whole lot. You just get in there and just keep working it out. And just keep, you can run the pick this way also. And get underneath there and just gotta be careful because the pick might slip and you don't want to stab yourself in the hand. But see how it just comes right out of there. Just a little easy, kind of walking it in, tipping it up, and away it comes. So eventually, you end up with that. And what I did is after I got this open, I just took a flathead screwdriver and kind of spread this out a little bit, okay? Just so that when I got the one out of the Wolfsburg West, part number is right here on this one. And so it's a 113-955-425, B as in boy, S as in Sam. And so this is a refill for the later model ones. But as you can see, this one's much longer. As you can see it there. And on top of being much longer, it also screws onto a slightly wider, you see that there compared to the thickness of this bar sitting next to it. So you can see that right there. So it screws onto a wider piece, and this isn't removable. Like we were talking about, this stays as part of this arm. So a little bit different piece. So what I did is just repeated the process. Look at that. Wolfsburg West actually puts their name right there on it, little WW. So what I did is I basically spread it out. I didn't care about this piece because I'm not going to reuse it. But I just wanted to split it open far enough to slip the rubber out, which is this piece right here. Okay? And then after I put it into the new piece, carefully, and you use that little center hole and slide it. You'll see that pin kind of slips through the center. I don't know if you can see that. So you just kind of carefully slide this piece back down on there, get it on top of that pin, that centers it up. And you'll notice it's, quite a bit longer than the other one you see on both ends there. Sorry about the camera stuff, but I can't really set it far enough away to see it. And then what you're going to use is a pair of standard vice grips. The reason why we're using this, if you see, this up here is much tighter than this down here, which will keep me from pinching the backbone of this thing. I don't want to pinch the backbone. I just want to pinch the rubber section, the upper portion of it, right that, just like that, okay? I'm just going to work my way down, slowly pinching it in. Like, again, I don't want to freaking ruin the backbone of this thing, so I want to be really careful and just careful how I do it. And so I'm just looking to pinch it back down like it was. and I don't want to, go too crazy on this thing because, I want it to last and look like it was never touched. That's the trick here, is trying to do these things without making them look like you peeled them apart. You guys have all seen the speedometers that somebody's taken apart to clean up the inside of it, and they weren't very careful with the flathead screwdriver that they used to split the backing up, and they tore the hell out of it. So just kind of do this, and see, as you can see now, the rubber's in there. It's not coming out. Pinched back in like it was when they sent it out first time. I'm sure they had a cool little machine that rolled this on here, and then they drilled it and put that pin in last. But since we're not taking it completely apart, we don't have those tools. We got to make do with what we have. So real carefully going along this thing. And I got a fairly straight piece. I got a little twisting and straightening of this thing. Luckily, it's just thin steel. But now the rubber seal's in there nice and good. And then all I'm going to do is just kind of cut the ends off. So I'm going to put this on pause for a second. And there you have it. Took and cut the ends off. Got a fairly straight piece. Got a little twist in there. But a little bit of tweaking and twisting, and we'll get her back where she looked like she was never touched. A little twist there. Nice thing about it is this is really thin metal like we were talking about. So there you go. Now, let's hope I never have to use this, because I do live in sunny Southern California, even though it's raining today. But hopefully I'll never have to use this piece. But just another quick little tech tip, a little idea of how to do this without having to break the bank. So you started out with this out there and made it into that. Nice and clean. Got a new rubber on there. It doesn't look all beat up and broken and stuff. So quite a nice change. And again, it's just being patient, peeling the piece out. And for I want to say these were maybe 12, 13 bucks. And yeah, I ruined this, but again, I wasn't caring about this one. I was caring about this one. So I'll get it all nice and mounted back on the car, and happy wiping. So anyhow, again, preservation, not restoration. Keeping the original German parts like this, and as much as I love Wolfsburg West, and they make great products, don't get me wrong, they make great stuff. If you don't have the original, Wolfsburg West is by far one of the best places you can go to get direct fit aftermarket parts that, the owner and the guys over there at Wolfsburg West have taken the time to make parts as correct and as close to the originals as they possibly can. And their quality. You can't really go wrong with Wolfsburg West. Anyhow, much like myself over Cool Rides, I try to make really high quality products, deliver those to you guys for a reasonable price. Wolfsburg West is exactly the same. Great guys. So even though I didn't want to ruin their parts, I needed to sacrifice one of these to make one of these good in the end. Anyhow, all right, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and check back. There'll be more videos coming, more little tricks I've got, more little things I can do that may help us preserve these gems for the next generation, and so on and so forth. And man, I'll tell you, that thing's falling apart in my hands, and that one's all nice and new. It's beautiful. Anyhow, all right, guys, take care, and catch you next time. Bye-bye.